Hello everybody, my name is Mind, and welcome back to the Aeroteam YouTube channel, and today we've got another showcase for you. We've got very big aircraft that we're going to be showing off to you. You may know before that we have shown off to you some giant aircraft, such as the massive 5.5 to 1 DC-8. Well, we've got another 5.5 to 1 aircraft, and you can probably tell what it is. This is the Delta A350 900. Now, I'm going to be taking you around this aircraft, showing you loads of details because this thing is full of them. I'm going to be telling you a bit about the build process, a bit about the aircraft, some tips and tricks, and maybe some interesting facts about the A350. Anyway, it's going to be a pretty interesting video, so you may as well stick around and watch it. Now, you may notice that I am using a different resource pack, and this is the Aeroteam version 1.0 resource pack, which of course you can find on our website if you so desire. We do of course use our newer version 2.0 pack now though. Now, this aircraft, like I mentioned, isn't the massive 5.5 to 1 scale. It is an older one that we've made. We've had it done for about a year. That is why it's in the older pack, and we've simply not converted it to the new one. Speaking of Delta, they do have 13 aircraft, 13 A350s, and they seat 306 passengers each. They've got 32 Delta 1 seats, 48 premium economy seats, and 226 in the main cabin. Of course, we'll be seeing that in the video today. Now, we can get on with the aircraft itself. So this is Delta A350 900, of course. And we can start around the nose. So this nose was designed by our ex-build team member, Nathan. Now, you may remember Nathan. He's been on some other videos on the channel. Now, he's just retired. He's no longer necessarily that into Minecraft because, of course, he's a college student now, and he's got to focus on that. But he did an incredible job on the nose, especially in terms of the design in the front, especially where it sort of slopes a bit forward. Of course, we do have the mast that goes around the cockpit. This is standard on all A350s. It is getting pretty popular on other aircraft. You're starting to see them included on stuff like the A320s, the LR A320 XLR, or whatever they call it now. And some airlines like Air Canada are including them for their liveries, and they do look pretty cool. Now, around the nose, you of course have the nose cone, and inside is the radar dome. You've got some pitot tubes along the side, some things marked out as well. And then down here, we do have the forward nose gear. So here is the nose gear. These things are massive, and they're super well detailed, as you can see here. Now, this thing, pretty interestingly, even though it is a year old, I would say it's probably still one of the most detailed builds that we do have. And so you can see that on the interior of the gear bay hold, which I do believe is quite accurate to what is in real life, as they did use references for when we built it. Of course, you also have the gear lights and some other things that stick out the gear, suspension, and such. Along the bottom, you have some buttons and airfoil extensions. Pretty simple, pretty standard. You have some static ports. I believe those are static ports right there. And then up on top, you have the SkyTeam logo, because Delta is, of course, part of SkyTeam. You have the L1 door, and then the massive Delta text on the side of the aircraft. You also have some windows that run along the aircraft side of the fuselage. And then you've also got some more airfoil extensions at the top here. I believe this right here is actually supposed to be the beacon light, but got a little messed up when the pack was switched over, so I'll just fix that really quickly. Other than that, that's pretty simple for the front of the aircraft, and you can continue around. So you've got the wing box. Now the wing box on the A350 is actually particularly interesting, because you might notice that the wing actually sort of morphs into the wing box a bit here, and then the wing box itself does get quite wide at the back, but is very narrow at the front and has a very interesting shape. Now, on the bottom of the wing box, we of course have the Delta text. So you've got the massive Delta logo all marked out in white. you've got some more airfoil extensions running along, things prodding out of the aircraft, and those are littered along this plane because we really strived for the exterior at least to be super hyper accurate, and you've probably not seen an aircraft that has this much stuff on it at all. Now, continuing along, we do have the gear base and the main gears. Main gears are super detailed, of course, with the strut angled that way and the massive suspension rods and everything. You of course have 4 wheels on each gear, and I believe we even have the brakes modeled here, especially with the exhaust for the brakes, I believe right there. Continuing along, here's the gear bay door, or the extension that comes out from the wing, and you can see some detailing that was done up here, pretty accurate, and then this is stuck into the wing pretty much. Onto the interior of the gear bay. This is pretty simple, especially compared to other aircraft. The A350 does have a bit of a plain gear bay, so it's just simple, some lines that run across the fuselage, the gear bay, and the wheels will just come up and slot in like so. And now, if you didn't know this, yes, the gear bay's doors of large airliners do leave a gap right here, especially when they're taxiing and everything, and that is because this door actually comes in and closes right into it, and so there's no point in just having this full thing closed through, especially because they've got to put stuff for the actual gear itself, connecting rods like so. And then we can come around through and check out the wing. Now this wing is massive, and I'm going to talk to you a bit about how we made it. So Zap is actually the main guy who made it, well, the only one, and he spent 4 months on this thing. It was insane. He had to go through so many iterations to get the wing flex just right, because we were having issues to where these Trent Xwb engines weren't fitting under the engine, and that's a bit of a problem when you've got a plane of this size, and you're almost done with it, but then the engine goes right through the wing, so you had to figure that out. Now, interestingly, you might notice how the layering on this side is different compared to most aircraft that we do. You may notice how it ends in a 2-2-2 sort of pattern versus other aircraft that we do 1-1-1 in sort of the angle. Now, the reason for this is we decided that the best course of action was to maximize both the layering on the underside and the layering on the top, and so this resulted in a bit more of a flatter layer design, but it's a bit more accurate in terms of real life. Now, what you could end up doing is stretching out the layers a bit more, but you wouldn't have this accurate layering on the underside, especially with the way that the wing thins. Other than that, we can take a look along the wing on top, and you do have the black markings that run along to the wingtip, basically. Some hooks, I believe these are hooks for the emergency, or when they evacuate onto, or if they evacuate onto the wing. And then you have the flaps marked out here. You also have the flapjack fairings, especially with their shape, and they're super hyper accurate. You've got, I believe this is the fuel dump system. I may be wrong about that, but I believe this is the fuel dump system here. And then there's some other sort of things. I believe this is the tank cap for the A350 on the wing, which is right there. And then you also have some, these are for when the aircraft is struck by lightning, and that dissipates the energy off of the wing and sort of just into the air. And then you have the massive blended wingtip of the A350 with the Delta widget on it, and it looks pretty good. You also have the wing lights, aviation lights, which are pretty simple, pretty straightforward with that. And now on to the beast of this thing, the Trent Xwb engine. This thing is pretty high detailed in terms of the design, and I believe we've got every flame blade and the entire thing done. And if you don't know, I'm pretty sure the Xwb lends its name to the aircraft, so that's pretty cool. And on the sides, you of course have the massive red line that you notice on basically all aircraft. And then you've got some other ports and such. On the outside, you also have the massive exhaust for the engine, which you can see right here. And we can take a look on the inside of the engine. So at the front, you of course have all of the fan blades right here, and then the little swoosh thing. And then on the inside, you're going to see past the fan blades, we can make it into the compressor. So this is the compressor. It gets a bit tight through here, so I'm gonna have to sort of maneuver my way. And then the way it works is it sort of cuts off right here, but that would be in through the compressor. And we can sort of take a look on the bypass. So the engine is connected this way, and here is the bypass, and then the massive exhaust, and this all propels out that way. And it looks pretty cool in Minecraft. Very, very cool. Coming around the aft of the aircraft, more exit doors, L2, L3, and L4. And of course you do have the Delta belly swoosh thingamy that runs along the bottom. Believe this is the bulk cargo door hold. Features on lots of aircraft. Normally they vary on which side they are depending on what aircraft. The 767 has it on the left side as well, but I believe other aircraft like the 737, 747 have it on the right hand side. Pretty interesting. A lot of people tend to forget that aircraft do have the bulk cargo door holds, which are pretty cool. Along the back, we have the horizontal stabilizer, and there's sort of an indent in terms of the way the fuselage is shaped, so we try to model that our best here with the horizontal stabilizer. And this is a basic shape. Again, more on the rear of the wing, the stabilizer for dissipating electricity. You also have a couple of airfoil extensions right here and a bunch of buttons to represent some more things sticking off of the aircraft. We also have the APU. APU looks pretty good here. Pretty simple. We've not modeled the actual auxiliary power unit on the inside because it really doesn't feature very much. And then on this side, you of course, or both sides actually, you have the massive Delta tail and the Delta widget. This thing looks pretty cool. I've always been quite a fan of the Delta livery. It tends to look pretty nice. They could maybe do with a bit of an update, maybe include some more on the fuselage itself, but otherwise, pretty good. Everything is basically the same on this side of the aircraft, aside from the fact that we do have the main cargo doors right here. And then we've also got the front cargo door as well, right here. As for that, we can take a look on the inside of the aircraft, and for the first time ever, I don't think I'm going to glitch through a bunch of blocks when I try to get on the inside. Yeah, there we go. So this is the front galley. We'll take a look at that in a second, but what I first want to take a look at is the cockpit. Now the cockpit on the A350 is pretty large and spacious. So you have two jump seats, one on the left and one on the right, as well as the fire extinguisher that is right here. And then I believe you have some shelves right here that contain a few different things. And then there's just general stuff that runs along the cockpit around there. You have the upper panel right here that runs along the whole thing. Then the pilot seats, so captain on the right, first officer on the left. You've got the side sticks right here, which looks super cool in 5.5:1. And then we also have one of the heads-up displays modeled down. And then as per the front, so for the front panel, so we've got the PFD primary flight display right here, and then the multifunction display MFD around here, or sorry, down here. Yeah, there we are. That would be the correct place. And quite a few other displays, warning displays, engine displays, all in the center. Pretty simple stuff. You of course have the throttle lever right here. You've got the foot pedals right here, and then some more buttons and everything that runs along the side, the throttle and the MFD. On top, similar thing as mentioned, and then the panel right here. We also have the tracks marked out for the pilot seats, which are pretty cool because of course the pilot seats do move back and forth on tracks. As for the rest of the aircraft, we can take a look back, and as you can see, there's actually a window which works pretty well. And we can take, this is the forward galley on the A350, pretty simple stuff. You've got some galley carts and some more stuff. You've got two jump seats right here, as well as I believe this is the something to do with the Delta logo. Now right here you've sort of got coffee and everything laid out, which looks pretty good right here, as well as some more galley stuff. Coming through the rest of the aircraft, I believe we do have some restrooms in here, and someone did really well by using the banners to mark out whether or not it was open. And here is the restroom, pretty simple, and it does have signs like the waste bin and everything, and these are loos with a view, pretty nice on the A350, and I believe it is basically the exact same on this side. Yes, and here are the Delta 1 seats. These things look super good. So you have a massive display panel right here for your in-flight entertainment, and then a very nice and comfortable 3-wide seat, as you can see here. And these things are pretty nice pods. They're sort of split in the middle, bit of privacy, although probably would close that on a normal flight. We also have the overhead bins marked out, pretty simple. They look pretty good. And then there's also some lighting in the ceiling as well. You've got the Delta text right there, and then the galleys and everything are going to be here, as well as the exit sign up there. You've got the L2 and R2 doors looking pretty nice, pretty good. They work pretty well in 5.5:1. And then you also have some jump seats here, and then another galley, and the galley looks pretty good. Basically the same thing that we saw up front, and we've seen the lavatories already, so you can just pass them. And here are the Delta, I believe it's just Delta Premium, if I'm correct. Yes, Delta Premium Select seats. There's 48 of these on the aircraft. They're basically just Economy Plus, where you've got a 2-2 or 242 configuration, some screens, and I believe there's also displays on the back of these as well. And these look pretty nice. They work pretty well, and I really do like the way they've done the headrests on them, and they look fairly decent. Coming back, you've got just a dividing wall, as well as the rest of the aircraft in terms of economy, and this economy class goes for 226 seats in a 333 configuration, stopping the number of seats by 1. Excuse these, actually, that's a bit glitched out. But that's basically it for this. You've got another dividing wall, some more lavatories and closets, and then you continue on through the rest of the aircraft. Pretty similar thing, just runs along. And then here into the aft galley, and the aft galley looks super good. You've got a jump seat here and here, as well as loads of galley carts, and there's a center island, I believe, on the A350, and that works out pretty well. You've just got some other things around these sides. Aft galleys on most wide-body aircraft are pretty massive, and this one definitely fits the bill. Anyway, we can take a look on the cargo holds, if I can get my way through. There we go. This is the aft cargo hold, I believe. We should actually have the door marked out, but I believe it got a bit messed up. But it's pretty simple, and then it's going to be a similar thing up here. We did not fill out any of the rest of the aircraft, just due to there not really being a point. And plus this is an old thing, so it's fine. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you guys found this interesting. I hope you found the A350, this giant, massive, absolutely ginormous A350, fairly interesting. Hope you found it cool. Anyway guys, my name's Mind. Consider checking out our Discord PMC, subscribing onto the YouTube channel, or even supporting us anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed it. My name's Mind once again. Take care. Bye-bye.